If a heart is like a river, like a wheel, or like a rose, well, I don't know which one mine would be. Maybe it's not one of those. I believe it's like no other, maybe just one of a kind. Surely not the perfect specimen that Venus had in mind. This heart of mine, been bruised and battered, more holes punched through it than some old leaky boat. And so threadbare, it sails so tattered, still the only thing it wants to do is Can a heart be like a mirror that never sees what it reflects? Makes it hard to know the difference between where it's been and what comes next. Well, a heart may be a beacon that gives off a lovely light, but if no one's there to see it, it doesn't matter if it's bright. This heart of mine, been bruised and battered, more holes punched through it than some old leaky boat. And so threadbare, with sails so tattered, still the only thing it wants to do is float. Worn and frayed, like the work end of a rope, still unafraid, never out of hope. This heart of mine, been bruised and battered, more holes punched through it than a hurricane-tossed boat. And so threadbare, with sails so tattered, never out of patience, never out of hope. Still the only thing it wants to do is float. This heart of mine just wants to float.
You're listening to Big Blend Radio, Champagne Sunday Show with Nancy and Lisa, and you just heard Float, the title track from the brand new album by Jeff-Kossack and The Other Hand. Jeff's no stranger here on Big Blend Radio. We first met him with his album Half-Life, then his two follow-up albums, Country Soul and Less is the New Black, and he also introduced us to the Tall Men Group. He wrote with them and recorded numerous albums over 7 years with them. Very awesome group of guys and incredible talent, as you just heard with Jeff. Jeff is really... He's prolific.
Yeah, he is.
He's a cool dude, and you got to keep up with him. Go to jeffkossack.com. Welcome back, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, it's so good to have you back. You know, I still, every time you come on the show, I remember the first time you came on, and I kept saying, Jeff-Kossack. He's a Kossack.
You know, I pretty much have gotten used to it. I don't really care what you call me as long as you call me.
Oh, well, there it is. Hey, listen, Float is awesome, and it's got, like, you've got that country edge in there, and even some honky-tonk and some good slide. I mean, this is a really cool album. Tell us the whole why Float is your title track, and because it's such an interesting collection, yet it does all float together.
Well, thanks. Yeah, Float. Float is the song that is the title song is really something. All my songs are really close to me, but this one really means a lot to me because, you know, I'm very happily in love, but I know so many people who are still looking, you know, and what the song is about is, you know, remaining buoyant and open to it, you know, even though we get our hearts broken. That's what the song's about. You know, we all get stomped on. And, I've met so many hearts that in spite of all the heartache, they still just want to love. And so that's what that song is about.
That's so interesting when you say that, because I think through all, the conversations we've had with you over the years, and it's about 7 years. I mean, it's been that long. It has.
Even longer, I think. Even longer.
Yeah, I think even longer. I'm thinking back. Yeah, I mean, it is
more
about
like
8, 9. Yeah, it's been a while, and
Half-Life
what's interesting.
Half-Life was 2010.
Yeah. So that's wow. We're getting younger, man, and we're just keep staying happy. But I was listening to the album, and I went, you covered different themes and stories, and that's, like I say, you're a prolific songwriter. I mean, you take me on a journey, and there's characters, and there's just, but at the end of the day, I just went, he's still talking about love, no matter what. There's love in every song. There's always some kind of touch on, even in the one song I got the giggles on, it was Why You Want to Make Me Mad, and it's kind of got a country rock, and then I was like, you know what, that's still about love.
It is.
Yeah.
That was a fun song. Let me tell you a little bit about the album itself. All of the songs that are on here are pretty much tunes that I wrote during my tenure with the Tallman Group, and these, and I own a recording studio, and as does another member of the Tallman Group. And so for me, it's like I'm also retired from my career. So my time is spent doing what I really, really love, and that's making music. So as these songs started stacking up, I was like, I got to start making some records. And ultimately, that's kind of what led me away from the band. I mean, they're all good friends, and I love them. After being with them for 7 years, we had each written 10 songs a year, 70 songs times 6 guys. That's 420 songs.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of music. That's a lot of music to record. But I have these 70 songs, and I'm like, I just wanted to take a hiatus from writing, so I couldn't write 71 until I recorded several of the first 70. I look at songs like this. If you're not hearing them, if they're not recorded or being performed out, they're like a tree falling in the forest with nobody there, They're nice words on paper and a nice sentiment that you get when you play it and perform it. But, I just had to document. I had to document these songs because, quite honestly, even though I had been writing all these years before I was ever in the Talls, Ed, Marty, John, Severin, and Jimmy brought out the writer in me. I am forever beholden to the Tallman Group and my good friends in that band for putting me on the road that I'm on now as far as creativity. And I've got still tens of songs I haven't recorded a note of.
Wow. Because I know over the course of the years and playing the different albums and the Talls all getting on there on our shows, and we always just booked out a full show with you guys because there's so many of you, and I was like, what's going on with the rest of those songs? And I know on Float, there's a couple songs that did go on their albums too, like it was Waterlogged. I remember that, and then also
Waterlogged was on a solo record.
Yeah. Okay. I remember that, and then. If we just trade shoes, wasn't that the one that you guys did the walking challenge?
Yes, that was correct. That is correct. Yes.
Ah.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
Brilliant memory.
Yeah.
So Waterlogged was a tune that I recorded for the Solos record, where it was a man and his instrument playing as if you were recording live. You could still avail yourself of studio stuff, but it had to be one man and whatever instruments he could play, whether that was harmonica or tapping your foot on a stomp box like I did in Waterlogged. And then when I made the record Float, I had always heard a bigger thing, almost for like a Garth Brooks type of song, like more of a stage show kind of version of that song.
It's powerful. That's a very powerful, grip your heart and very reality-based song. It's one of my favorite ones.
Very
I think
common
everybody
theme in
can
my
relate
music,
to it.
Exactly.
Well, that was because of the. I wrote that Waterlogged right after the Houston floods because I saw so many people just in the course of watching CNN that lost everything, a whole life's memories, and it's very very tragic.
It was. It was really. It was. You know, having these songs on this album, I want people to be able to go and get them. Where are they available online? Are they? Or because I know you do a lot of touring
Yes.
with Jimmy, the Muffin Man, and house concerts. So where's the best place for people to get the album?
cdbaby.com. Just do a search
Okay.
of my last name and the Other Hand. If you put in Other Hand on most music sites, I'll be one of the bands that comes up for sure.
Now tell everybody about The Other Hand, because you have some regular players on your different albums that you record with.
Yes. Okay, so the Other Hand, the way we came up with the name is in the 90s, my band was Jeff-Kossack and The-Otherhand. And I was approached one night by an attorney who said, you can't use that name. There's a Capitol Records band that has a huge deal, and you can't use the name Open Hand anymore. And I was like, well, I've got 3 albums out as Jeff-Kossack and The-Otherhand, registered with the Library of Congress. And the guy turned white as a sheet. So he called me a few days later and said, he said, well, what are we going to do about it? And I said, I'll sell you the name for a nickel. Because here's the deal. At that point in my life, I was still working. I still had my career. And these young men from Orange County by the name of Open Hand, and they're kind of a punky, band for the times, punk music, and they're really trying to make it. This was their shot. This is what they had going, and I already had, so it was like I wasn't married to the name, and if some guys are really trying to make it, I got to get behind that. So I went back to my band and said, all right, you guys, we're not the Open Hand anymore. And the guys in the band were like, well, what are we going to call ourselves? And I was like, I don't know, how about The Other Hand? We all laughed, and it stuck.
Cool.
I like it.
So,
I like it too. That's a funny
The Other
second
Hand?
name, yeah. I like that.
So The Other Hand is a group. It started off with a couple of guys that I started making music with regularly, but I don't really enjoy touring out very much unless it's just me and Jimmy or something like that. The logistics of being on the road with a whole band, hotel rooms, all that stuff, it's kind of hard to do. So I started making these studio records, much in the same way Steely Dan did. And slowly my Rolodex grew, like on Float. It's a roster of 30 players, singers, fiddlers, unusual instruments, drummers. I mean, everybody's there. I've got a great musical Rolodex. I'm very proud of the people who play for me. And I try to keep them busy. I refer them to other producers all the time to try and keep them working.
That's cool. That's cool. The other thing too, when I was listening to, you've got horns in there. Who's doing the slide guitar on "I Just Need You"? I'm like, dude, it's some of my favorite stuff.
Okay, so that is "I Just Need You" is a very interesting, dreamy song. There are 2 guitar players on it. One of them is Bruce Watson, who's the current guitar player. He's been in The Foreigner for about 15 years. He lives out by where my studio is, and we met through a mutual friend, and he comes by my studio every now and again, and when he's not out on the road with Foreigner, and he lays some stuff down. So he did the bass part, and then I brought in Ed, just because I wanted to have Ed come in and do a little slide work on it, and Ed just totally delivered. He's the man,
See, I know when it's Ed and that. I know. It's interesting because you do. I think you've got John on there, Jimmy on stuff, and Jimmy, because you're doing your music in your recording studio, but then you're also recording albums for other people as well. And I know you've done that through the years. But didn't you just record Jimmy Essein's new album too?
Jimmy's record it came out yesterday in a worldwide launch on social media. And it's officially out, I believe, on June 1st. It was a record that we made. He played a song one night for the Talls called "The Future," and obviously the song prompt for that month was "The Future." So I heard that song and I said, "You got to come to my studio tomorrow, and we have to track that song." And so he recorded it, and that was the beginning of his record. It took us a few years to get it done. Because, we didn't really know that it was a record when we started. We were just recording Jimmy's tunes. And about halfway through, I was like, we're going to do another 5 or 6 songs and then have a record? And he was like, why not? Making music for your best friend, that's such a pleasure. But it's also, there's a lot of pressure on it because it has to stand the test of time. I don't want Jimmy a year from now going, ugh, I hate this record. I can't even listen to it. Because what's going to happen? Our friendship will suffer. But we worked it out. I mean, it's a brilliant blend of us both. I think. My production style and just Jimmy's, talent. Jimmy knows how to hold a room, knows how to deliver a song, and knows how to be a friend.
I can imagine what your house concerts are like. I know you go to the Julian Library every year, and Nancy and I used to live in Julian, and every time you go there, I see Jen Smith, and I'm like, we've done shows and performances there before together, and every time you guys are there, because you and Jimmy travel together, do your road trip, and it just is like, okay, this has got to be cool, but to do house concerts, it has to be such an intimate setting because it's you guys are telling stories. There's all these little nuances in your music, and for people to really truly be in the experience versus I know we've talked about this before about being in a bar. You're competing with
bar noise,
bar drama,
yeah.
and broken bottles, which can be fun.
Exactly. The entertainment is there incidental to everybody else's good time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's
exactly.
there to get to have a drink.
I remember.
I don't know if you listened on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say bar band. We played bar band the other day, just because of that. Bar band. It was on the tall. I think it was the first. It was 12x6 album, and we played that on the show the other day, just because we were talking about restaurant drama and stuff, restaurant employment drama. And I'm like, because it's such a hard shift, and how many bands go in, and it's like, oh, here we'll give you a free meal, and here's your free cocktail, and here's your $10 for your gas money.
I like those places where you walk in and the band is behind wire.
Oh, that's cool. That's the Rawhide Band,
Really
but
funny.
so
really,
that song, it just every time I see bands and bars, especially if they're doing the cover songs, from the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Eventually, it's got to burn out. Doing that kind of show.
Well, I don't know if you guys listened to on Why You Want to Make Me Mad. I started off. I actually
I love that.
went online. There are a couple of sound effects sites that I use, and I bought a bar fight with bottles breaking as if people are throwing at chicken wire at a chicken wire screen in front of a band. And so that's kind of the same setting for that song.
Oh, let's play it. I want people to hear this because it's like it's like a flip from what we heard with Float. So let's play it because this is so cool.
You get that dual emotion when you walk in a place where part of you goes, oh no, and then the other part's going, this is going to be fun.
No, take a listen because at the same time it does touch on love in a different way. Here it is. Why You Want to Make Me Mad?
With a band in a kind of room that can go from nice to quickly out of hand. Some guy put his hands on her and my vision all went white. Well, she said I should get in his face, but it weren't no pretty sight. So why you wanna go and make me mad? Rattle my cage, shake my tree, rile me up till I play the fool. I'm about to lose my cool. Why you wanna go and invade my space? Make me see red till I'm blue in the face. Yeah, you're gonna wake up in a hospital bed. Why you wanna make me mad? Well, I took 2 steps back, slammed a double jack, then I raised my fist. Yeah, I cursed him out over their shouts. Yeah, we both were pretty pissed. But baby, she just stood there. She wanted us to fight. Well, she looked at me and she smiled that smile. Then I punched out his light. So
Pick up your two front teeth, everyone. That was Why You Want to Make Me Mad Again off of the brand new album by Jeff-Kossack and The-Other-Hand. It is called Float, and you can get it on CD Baby. Just type in Other Hand or type in Jeff-Kossack on CD Baby. You can get it there. And also keep up with Jeff at jeffkossack.com. He's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Jeff, I could smell stale beer. You know, it's like there's a freshly poured and then it goes stale within an hour smell. And I saw peanuts on the floor. And I saw the boots, cowboy boots. It's sweaty. And there's a pool hall, and then you know where someone picks up that pool cue, and you know, So I totally see that's why I'm saying you transport us into these different stories, and it's like it's a visual, like you're like on a movie trip. So your whole album, all your music, it needs to be in movies.
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I've actually had some luck with that this year. There's a show that's on Amazon called Absentia, and the producers and directors of the show were just happened to hit my SoundCloud page, and they asked me to if they could use my tunes. I got paid some money, and that's fine. But the exposure is always nice. And so it's on season 1 on Amazon. It's called Absentia. And I did all of what is known as the diegetic music. Diegetic music is the music that is coming out of a jukebox, the radio, the stereo system. It's playing in the elevator.
Oh, cool.
The cast are the ones who can hear it. In other words, it's not score.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing as a score that goes over everything. It's actually music that is part of the scene.
Wow.
See, because it's party.
Yeah. I mean, and you can hear, when you look at, when you listen to the song like that, this one was a really perfect example. All this instrumentation, and you're talking about how many, musicians and producers, you've got to know their craft well to be able to know who to fit into what song.
That's exactly right, and that's why I have so many players, because one guy may be more country, one guy may be more rock and roll. I just like using the very best people, on each song, so that they're not outside of their milieu, And I'd love to mention a couple of people. My drummer is Dave Salinas. He plays with Kenny Loggins most of the time, and when he's home, he's on my music. Daniel Ryan plays with a bunch of different bands in Los Angeles. He's become a father this year, so he's kind of more of a stay-at-home musician now. So all he does is go to sessions for producers like me, and he's brilliant. Plays both stand-up bass and electric bass. And then my regular guitar player is Nick Kirgo. And Nick also is a studio guy, has his own little project too. I'm going to actually go see him next week. I'm super excited to go see him doing his own thing. And these three guys, they're the nucleus of my band, and then everybody else comes in and just puts layers over the top of it. I have just the most brilliant players who love to come, and everybody gets paid. Everybody gets paid. That's super important.
Yeah, see, that's why I say we got to look at music. Music is a business, and it's like you don't want the starving artist thing it's just, I hate that expression, and I hate that it's even I think that there should be business school for creatives, and I just because
it's called accountants.
Yeah.
Yeah. The music business has changed a lot. There isn't going to be any other kind of artist except for starving artists that aren't Taylor Swift, that aren't Christina Aguilera and Mariah Carey. I mean, those are the artists who are going to make it. And there'll be a new one that comes along. But for the most part, there are so many creators of music. And music is so ubiquitous nowadays. It's in the mall. It's in the elevator. It's in the supermarket. That it doesn't. People don't really give it a second thought anymore. It's just an expected part of the landscape. And so, and consequently, companies like Spotify and Apple Music have made sure that that players who are doing it for a living are just, they just get paid fractions of a cent. And by fractions, I'm talking about thousands, 10,000 of a cent.
It's ridiculous. I saw something the other day,
crazy.
like a graphic of, who pay, and it's not even the top payer isn't like Spotify. It's some of the Tidal or I can't remember the name, but it's like Amazon and Spotify are actually way down at the bottom, and that's going to be the two that people go to. So it's, and I remember I know you do a lot through CD Baby, and I'm starting to see more musicians use CD Baby than when they first came out, they were really big, and then I think they were going through growth or something. Some musicians were totally pissed at them, or for no money, or I don't know what was going on, but musicians had like an uprising. But now it seems that that's getting more and more where people want to, put their music, and and I'm glad you did an album, and thank you for that, because I'm excited, because we didn't trade our car in at all for our next, journey of this tour, because it has a CD player, because I'm still old school, man.
Yeah, I don't quite get that. I mean, what the car makers are missing out on is that everybody that makes music usually burns it to a CD. Yeah. And so that we can listen to it, over and over and over again, and edit it in our heads, and then go back into the studio and fix it. I'll give you a very poignant example of the state of the music business. So I'm played a lot at internet radio because that's kind of where music is nowadays. It's a lot of internet radio, just like at internet radio. And I got played over the last year almost 200,000 times. Almost 200,000 times over the course of a year, maybe 20 different songs that I put out, because I do release one a month. And I got paid $110, maybe.
Oh, you're kidding
for
me.
200,000 pins. No, that's it. That's
an anti-champagne toast.
But if you take away CDs, like when we travel across country, there's not internet everywhere where you can just download music.
You can do it off your phone and do stuff, but I'm old school, and I don't like that. I like putting in an album. We have a thing where we either know what we want to play, or I still have those big books of music, and that's really what takes up the car space.
Yeah.
And we open it up, and
sure.
we call it the close and pick. You flip through, you close your eyes, and whatever comes out, that's what you're going to listen to, and see if it matches your scenery.
Awesome.
Now if we go through Joshua Tree, then Nancy wants us to play the good, bad, and the ugly.
That's right.
And that's that. That's
right.
what you get to listen to.
Actually, my favorite for Joshua Tree is Walking on the Moon by the Police.
Oh, yeah, cool. That makes sense. For sure. I like to play a lot of different Native American music. Robbie Robertson goes well in there, too, for some reason. But, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I love Robbie Robertson. I still think he's just one of the, I don't know, he's just so, the band is like, could you imagine
super
the Talls,
creative. I mean,
the Talls and the band, like double bill, dude, come on.
That would be something. That would be something. I'm hoping that soon the Talls will get to the same place that I'm in, where it's like, okay, we've written enough songs, now let's just play them, and then I want to be back in that band, Wicked Bad.
Yeah. Well, get recording them all. Now let's talk about some of your other projects too, because you sent me a song
Sure.
which it's deep, Too Little Time, and I see that it was with Sid Straw, and I know this name. Has he been on a show with you? I don't know. I think he's been on a show for some reason. I know
Actually,
his name. And
Sid is a woman. Sid is a woman. She's a gal.
Okay.
And who she is she was part of the. She was one of the very first artists to ever be called indie. In 1989, she released a record called Surprise. And on it, there were some songs that I really, really liked. And I always had a copy of Surprise. When I sold my records, I bought a CD version of it, and I've downloaded it. And one day, a friend of mine, Ellen Berman, I don't know if she's listening, said, "Would you like to meet Sid?" And I was like, "Are you kidding? I idolize her." So a couple of days later, I get a phone call. "Is this Jeff?" "Hi, Jeff. This is Sid." And Sid's a very unique person. She's like Fran Lebowitz, but tall and very lithe. Very thin, and she just has a brilliant way of delivering music. So we got together, and we didn't write a song together because she was only in town for a couple of days. And she said, "Have you got anything that you'd like to do, like for me to sing backups on?" And I was like, "Well, not a backup thing, but let's do a duet." So I had her record this song, come to my studio and record a song, and it came out beautifully. And it was at #1 at internet radio for months. Did really well with it. And I hope someday to work with her again when she comes back into LA. I'm always kind of watching her on social media to see when she's back. And when I see that she's going to be here, I'll reach out to her again and see if we can do another one. But it was fun.
I was wondering,
there's nothing like working with an idol.
Because the song is she's singing and she's got a powerful voice. And I'm like,
She does.
You know, I didn't know that. I was like, Sid Straw, that sounds familiar, and I'm like, maybe she's been on a show, and I'm going, well, what's Sid doing? That's why I'm like, what's Sid doing in this song?
You know, she lives in
but now I know.
lives in Vermont, I think. Yeah, she lives in Vermont, and she's you know, she lives almost a hermetic existence when she's not on the road, but she does make a few appearances and stuff, and it's always good to hear her whenever I see that she's out and about. I try to give a listen.
Oh, it's beautiful. She's got just an incredible voice. But like I was saying, when I first listened to it, I'm like, so okay, Sid Straw. I didn't know it was her, you know, singing. I was like, who's singing? And then it's because I'm like, that's a woman's voice. I'm like, so. Listen, I'm on Jeff, okay, and it is, you know, Champagne Sunday, you know, that's what it is. But I also wanted to touch on some of your other projects, Wally Riggs. Is this going to be on a new album for you? Too Little Time?
Wait, it's going to be on my next record. As you could see, Float is all band music. It's all full band. Mm-hmm. And then my next record, I'm going back to the more introverted, you know, folky thing that I do. And I'll probably put a couple of band songs on there again, you know. But this one's kind of the next one's going to be a little more folk or a little more Americana than Float is.
And My Wallet and Watch. My Wallet and Watch. This is it's like it's
it comes from an old poem.
Well,
and I won't say it.
No, but it's hysterical. Like that is I got the giggles with listening to this, you know, because I've seen stuff like that happen. You know.
That's a song about a short song. It's under 3 minutes long, and it was a very short relationship, as you can tell. So it's a short song about a short relationship.
It's a quickie, yep. And there's nakedness. We got to touch on that. So is that going to be on the album too?
That's going to be on my next record also.
Awesome. I'm so glad. This is cool. So you have to come join us all the time. And next time you come on the show, we're going to be doing it in video. And we'll have champagne. We can all just see each other and toast. And you know, that way we don't talk over people, you know. Well, we probably will. We probably will because we do. But let's touch on Wally Riggs. You said that's another album that you're working on too?
That record is finished. Wally is the father of a flight attendant, a male flight attendant that I met years ago on my way to a car show in Las Vegas. And he looked at me, took one look at me. I was sitting in the front seat of the cabin, and he goes, "You got to be in the music business because you just look like a musician." And I was like, "I am." We stayed in touch over the years and just, you know, friendly. And then he wrote me and he said, "Do you have any interest in recording my dad?" And he sent me his CD called Dehesa Road. And I loved it. He is like an original cowboy singer in the same way that, you know, like the Johnny Rays of the world and, you know, the Bob Wills, you know, the Texas Playboy kind of thing. Him and his guitar, and he could play and sing. And, you know, it's like, I was like, yes, I want to do it. We recorded the whole thing, and it took about a week to do, you know, from recording through mix. But he's just an original guy. He's just an American original. You know, he's probably 80-something, and he's like 6'5", and, you know, he could fit through a soda straw. But, man, can that guy sing and play a guitar. What a treat.
Awesome. And then you've got the Plowboys, and they were just, you know, this is so funny. It just went up on Facebook. They were performing at the Scottish Fest in Orange County yesterday. Are they going to be the same band?
They're a very interesting band. Yes, that is the same band. The Plowboys are a very interesting band. What they've done is they've invented a new genre of music called green grass. Green for being Celtic and grass for bluegrass. It's like Irish bluegrass.
Cool.
Yes, people have been making music like that, but I never heard anybody say that. The lead singer, one of the front men of the Plowboys is a good friend of mine, Mark Romano, and he was actually he's playing the 12-string Rickenbacker on the first song on Float called Funny Thing About Luck. And he's seen me over the years. I wasn't always the engineer and producer that I've gotten to be, and he was like, "I want you to make the band's record. Here's a great story." So I said, "Great, let's do it." So we set a date, and they show up, and they bring all their instruments, and I'm like, "What do you guys want to do?" And they're like, "Well, didn't we mention to you that we wanted to record the record live?" Well, 4 guys playing live. And my room, it's, you know, so I kind of put on my thinking cap in the moment and partitioned off my room into 4 compartments and tracked them so that there wouldn't be a whole bunch of mic bleed. There would be some, and the record just came out great, and we got through it. So the Plowboys record that you hear is live, and then we came back and we recut vocals. We overdubbed the vocals to be more in the moment than when the guys were actually playing it. Great record. I'm so proud of it. And the funny thing is they have residencies all over Southern California for different nights of the week. And then every weekend they fly out to play the Scottish games, the Highland games, the Celtic games, all over the United States. They're very much in demand. And quite honestly, it's probably the closest shot that I'm ever going to have to getting a Grammy, because they will sell 5,000 CDs this year.
Wow.
And as soon as they hit 5,000, Mark said to me, I'm submitting this for a Grammy in a new category called Green Grass, and we'll see what happens.
Now, his name is familiar to me, too, and maybe it's from being with you, working with you, but his name's familiar to me, too. I was like, I see it on the album, and I'm like...
Maybe because of the Scottish Games.
Yeah, it could be the Scottish Games, because we actually used to help them, the San Diego Scottish Games, over the years. And in fact, at one point when our magazine was in print in San Diego, everybody thought, "Oh, you're the Celtic magazine," but the Highland Way, all these. Yeah. I think Mark used to play with what's his name, Brian, that plays with
Cody.
Cody Brian. You know Brian? Oh no! Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This guy's an incredible fiddle player. Paul. It's Brian from Highland Way. Brian Caldwell, and then Paul plays Castellanos. And I think Mark and Paul used to play together.
Oh, that's possible.
I have a funny feeling about that. But and I mean, these are all amazing musicians too. But I want that album because we're going to Kentucky, so we need that for when we go through Bourbon Country. I think that album
hit me with an address
go well.
for you, because I know you guys are going on the road in a couple of days or something like that, but if you land someplace where you're going to be, I'll overnight you a copy of the Plowboys record. I'd love for you to have
Well, we'll be back here. We'll be back here in at the end of June, because then we produce another magazine, and then we go off again, and then we'll go to Louisiana, and then we'll do Kentucky, Tennessee. Yeah, we need that kind of music for there. Yeah, your album, Float, we're going to be playing that on the way through to New Mexico and then to Colorado, and I think some of the places we're going in Colorado, it's going to fit really good.
Yep.
Well, good. I am honored to be part of your playlist.
We excited. Now, listen, this is important. Number one, champagne toast to what you are doing with music, not just with your own work, but everybody else, and involving 30 musicians, holy cow, on your album Float. So champagne toast to you. But what are you toasting to?
Well, today, we're celebrating Memorial Day this weekend, and that's a holiday dedicated to armed service members who lost their lives in armed conflicts. So I'm saluting them. I'm toasting them. That's part A of my toast. And, as long as we remember, they live on. That's the whole reason for the day. Not actually to give us a 3-day weekend. It's to actually remember why, how we're here. And the other part of my toast, I want to toast my players on, they're a large group of players. And I got to say, you've heard the expression more than the sum of their parts. Well, these guys are all virtuosos, but they make me sound so great. And I owe every one of them a huge debt. So I'm toasting them.
Right on. We toast with you.
That, yeah.
And yes, Memorial Day, I have to say that too. We were talking about it on Friday's show. And and I also want to thank all the people in service for our country. And we had a guest on Ward. He's on our show every month, and I was like, well, thank you for your service. I know that's not part of Memorial Day, but I want to thank you now. He goes, yes, I'm alive, and I didn't mean it that way, but it just I still think you should thank those who are living too, and remember those who have passed in the line of fire or line of duty. And remember, on Monday at 3 o'clock, we all stop for a second. No matter where you are in the country, at 3 o'clock, stop for that that minute of silence, and just think.
I will.
Of all those. Yeah, that's a united thing that our country does, and we don't hear about that much. We're too busy barbecuing outside. That at 3 o'clock, it's a unified thing. We all stop. So just wanted to put that out there. So now it's time to play Spontuneous, Jeff. Are you ready? Do you remember?
I am.
the Song Game, everybody, go to check it out, songgame.com. This is the coolest game ever. So we're going to play the radio version, and we're going to give you a word, Jeff, and then you come up with 5 words in a song that include that word that we give you. Stanza, yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to give Nancy, she's going to do the example. Nancy, your example is...
Oh, boy.
Okay, your example. I'm going to give you wine as your example because I do that to you all the time, and I know you love wine.
The days of wine and roses.
I love wine.
You love wine too. Okay.
The days of wine and roses.
The days of wine and
runaway.
Yeah, you got it. You just need 5 words in a song.
Play.
Okay. So what we're going to do is, Nancy, you get to give Jeff his word. Okay? And then you got to get it in 10 seconds, and if not, you get butt panned. Are you ready, Jeff?
Sure.
You remember butt pan, don't you?
I have to do this.
Okay.
The word is cats.
Cats, like C-A-T-S?
Yes.
Okay, cats.
Oh, that's easy. You gave me an easy one. I'm just going to go straight for the Tall Men lyric with Marty Axelrod's song 9 Cats.
Oh, you see?
She's a lifelong Democrat. 9 Cats was his deal breaker.
A deal breaker, yeah.
I love that.
That is one of the coolest songs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
9 Cats. And the deal breaker is the best part of it.
That's the best part.
Oh, so we didn't get to butt pan you. Okay, so Jeff, please give Nancy a word.
What about you? I did my turn.
No, you did the example.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to say time.
Is on my mind. No, that's not the lyric.
On my...
Time is on my mind, yeah.
No.
No?
I'm going to do... Time is on my side. Yeah, it is.
Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm. Time
Yeah,
is on my side. Oh, I get to butt pan my mom.
Oh.
And now, a butt pan moment. Butt pan! Butt pan! Butt pan! Butt pan! Butt pan! You're a butt pan!
In the swimming pool.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I love butt panning, Nancy. I get it later.
At least
Oh,
I
my.
can swim.
I love your
Okay.
butt pan music. That's awesome.
That is from our friends Michael and Spider, who did a lot of the sound for our shows, and it was from when and they're awesome. They've done so many different things. They were one of the first glam punk rock bands in LA in the 70s, and Hey Taxi and Red Wedding, and then they moved out to Tucson and made kind of soundscape music, just kind of meditational, but some trippy stuff, very trippy. And then, unfortunately, Spider passed. And then Michael went on and got into all these different bands and started bands and did all the psychedelic music. It was cool. It's very cool. Very cool stuff. So, but butt pan is about people who drive too slow in front of us and won't move. You know, the people that go like 30 miles an hour in a 70 zone in the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
That's a butt pan.
Hey,
So
you're talking about me.
No. See, that's what our
guitarist
guitarist was like. Oh, no, our guitarist was like that, our rhythm guitarist. But then we found out he was smoking weed.
Yeah,
and he goes, he's going down the highway going, I don't know why I was going so slow, man. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Anyway, that didn't last very long.
Equally as funny. Equally
I know,
as funny when Jimmy and I go out on tour. When we go out on tour, Jimmy does all the driving because I drive way too slow for him.
Oh, see. Yeah, I try to not get a ticket. And that's what I'm scared because I got myself out of a ticket in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, and that was like
the best ever.
Over 10 years ago, 15 years ago, about 15 years ago. And Nancy recorded it on the tape back in the tape recorder days because we were going around interviewing people, and this is how Big Glen Radio really got started. We did road trip tapes. We took a little tape recorder, and throughout this entire big road trip, we walked into liquor stores, restaurants, bars, and asked people, everybody loves wood. Why do you love wood? And I still have this tape. It's one of the few treasured things in our storage unit. It was the coolest thing. And then I got pulled over in Pagosa Springs, right outside the Billy Goat Saloon, and we met the Billy Goat Saloon dude too. That was cool. And I got myself out, and now I'm looking at where we're going, and we're going to go right back to the scene of the crime.
What made me think that I should record a police officer? I put it under my sweater, and I turned the record button on, and through the knit of the sweater, you could see this little red light flash. And I'm like, what am I doing? Can't stop now.
I know.
Oh.
Anyway, Jeff, you get to give me a word.
Okay. Let me think. I'm going to give you, would you like an easy one or a tough one? I'll give you
either way. I'm all good. Okay. Heart, like as in doof doof. Okay. Listen to your heart when he's calling for you. Listen to your heart. Ain't nothing you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your heart before he tells you goodbye. And on that note, Jeff, thanks for joining us.
I don't know why. Thank you so much for having me.
Where did that come from? Who sang that?
I have no idea.
That's that
I don't know.
80s group. Oh man, listen to your heart.
No. I know who it is.
Ace
Isn't
of
it
Base.
Taylor
no?
Dane?
Ace
of Base.
It's Ace of Base.
Maybe.
Hey, listen to your heart. Yeah. I don't know why I remember that.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's Roxette. It's Roxette.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Right. I remember that band. They were great.
I thought they were pretty darn cool. I remember they came out when I was in high school.
Wonder what happened to them.
Yeah. They were cool. Well, and it's an interesting thing how
they were that.
Yeah. Weren't they instrumental in the beginning, or something like that? Yeah.
I'm not sure. They had a song called "You Got the Look" too.
That's it. Exactly.
You got the look.
You got the look.
Yep.
All right. So, listen, everyone. Again, Float is available now. Go to CD Baby and go to JeffKossack.com. And again, it's Jeff Kossack and The Other Hand. And the album is called Float. We've got to play My Wallet and Watch, of course. Okay. So we have to play this, and this will be on Jeff's upcoming new album. Please stay in touch, Jeff. It's always a pleasure, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's always great to talk to you guys.
You take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
I had a short fuse, I was ready to blow. She took a match and she let it go. I was hot like fire, she was cold like ice. Letting off steam sure sounded nice. Off came the clothes, down came the pants. She pushed me down, made me walk to dance. Way more than I was counting on. My wallet and my watch are gone. Sometimes love just takes a turn. Sometimes love gives you a nasty burn. Sometimes love just bites your hand. Sometimes love is a one-night stand. Sometimes love don't last too long. My wallet and my watch are gone. Well, I ran downstairs and out to the street. I saw her running in her bare feet. Well, I got my car and I chased her down. She came back for another round. We messed up the bed, we trashed the shower. Like one of my finest hours. Way more than I was counting on. My wallet and my watch are gone. Sometimes love just takes a turn. Sometimes love gives you a nasty burn. Sometimes love takes everything. Love's like a tub with a stubborn ring. Sometimes love don't last too long. My wallet and my watch are gone. My wallet and my watch are gone. Yeah. Well, I checked my things and we said adieu. I thought I'd nap for an hour or two. I woke up naked in the john. My wallet and my watch are gone. Yeah, sometimes love just takes a turn. Sometimes love gives you a nasty burn. Sometimes love my watch are gone. My wallet and my watch are gone. My wallet and my watch are gone. My wallet and my watch are gone.